murders and stuff.
All right, guys.
People calling the radio.
How's everybody doing tonight?
You know, we feeling this Cayman.
All right, seriously, viewer discretion advised. I'm gonna probably put one up, but to be completely honest, what we're gonna go over today is a little depressing. I wanted to do something like
different,
pretty strong as the first episode. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But honestly, as I was like doing the script and stuff, I was like, damn, this is really fucking depressing. Like,
this is for the
yeah, it's a lot of like very sad stuff. Very yeah. So if you're not into, if you're not a fan of all walks of life dying, do not watch this. Young, old, skinny, black, white. Yeah, it's pretty sad. Anyways, what's up, you guys? Welcome to our first episode of I don't have a name for this yet. Comments, if you guys want to leave a name, that'd be kind of cool. I'm just gonna add this to the series of things we're doing already. Whenever I don't feel like cooking, I'd say why not? We'll just pop in and make one of these. Hopefully, it's kind of fun. To my right, we got my boy Marlon Mudkip.
Hola.
His first time podcasting.
For real.
He's trying to get drunk because he can't.
First time ever.
First time anything. That's never stopped him. Sofi.
Hello.
Comadre Sofi to my left. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm ready. I'm ready to learn about this case. Okay.
So tonight,
I've been thinking about it all day.
Oh God! Tonight we're talking about. Have you guys ever heard of Jonestown?
Jonesboro?
Jonesboro. That's actually what he was named after. Yeah, it's crazy.
Jonesboro?
No, dude. His name is Jim Jones. Is the name of the dude.
I've heard of Jim Jones.
You've never heard of? Are you familiar with any cult?
No. You'd have to like bring it up to me for me to remember.
No cult. Okay.
Manson, right?
It's a cult. Huh?
Manson, right?
Charles Manson. It wasn't. I
go.
guess it's kind of a cult. What is it? What do you call it?
Did he have people kill him? Kill people for him?
Yeah, he got like 5 people to like
go to rich
into
people's
a celebrity's
houses
house and like murder the woman or some actress. I don't know. I'm not really familiar with the case, but I know what he did, and he drugged the fuck out of them. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about Jonestown. Jim Jones, the man, this crazy ass dude, in a very depressing story again. It's just, I don't know if you ever heard of like a cult moving to South America, and then it's like something crazy stuff happens, and he ends up committing mass murder, suicide. You've never heard of this ever?
No.
All right, so we're in for a treat.
Let's start.
All right, so I'll probably just pass the phone around if that's cool, y'all. I guess there's a lot of reading, and I'm gonna show y'all 4th grade reading level right now.
Hell yeah.
Right, okay. Look, I'm in the Cayman in.
It's too bad. I ain't doing this by myself. So honestly, I was gonna write a script. I kind of ran out of time. So the sources I'm using, I literally took the transcript from the video I got it from. It's a 40-minute video from I'll put the link in my comments because I mean they did a great job summarizing. Any other video you look for, there's like an hour, 2 hour, 3 hours of it, and they cut it down to 43 minutes. So this is literally the transcript from that video because it's our first video. I didn't have time. I have 2 babies I'm watching 24/7, and it took us 3 hours to set up today. So
but we gotta start somewhere.
And I think for the first one,
a lot of technical difficulties.
Always technical difficulties. Like
it's always when I'm here. I don't know why.
It's always when Marlon's here. Like when anybody else is here, it just we're good to go. But so I'm gonna read. I'm just gonna read it, and we can go over what happened and talk about it. So it starts off of before Heaven's Gates, before the Manson family. The single largest deliberate loss of American life happened 500 miles away from the closest American border, in a remote jungle in Guyana. It was actually in a disputed land between Venezuela and Guyana.
Oh, really?
So he took...
This is in South America.
South America, yeah.
Gotcha.
He took 1,000 people with him. Well, I think it was a little more than that. Where the cult leader Jim Jones and the People's Temple committed the largest mass suicide in recent history. Like, it is the largest.
It's a suicide?
Murder, so he convinced everybody to kill themselves?
We'll get to it. It's crazy, dude. Yeah, it is crazy. All right, Jim Jones was born on May 13th, 1931 to James and Lynette Jones. During his infancy, the family was trapped in a severe poverty due to the Great Depression that was engulfing all of America. Because this was 1931. The Great Depression was what, 1929?
1920.
He was 3 years old, dude. And when I was writing the original script,
Yeah.
I found out that his dad was like a World War One veteran. He was injured. He was collecting like disability, but it wasn't enough. And like his mom had to find a job, so he kind of grew up like alone. His parents weren't around very often. But I mean, that just sounds like normal Mexican like
Problems.
Problems, dude. We grew up like that.
Your average Mexican.
Your
boy.
average childhood, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, both my parents worked all the damn time. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
fucking Maury Popovich raised us. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't.
La vecina would watch us through the window.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
What the?
No, that was just a stalker. So,
They would
yeah.
give candies every Tuesday.
oh man.
Oh,
I remember
yeah.
one time mom left us in the.
We fucking burned the oven. Oh my god.
What?
I was trying to make some eggs, dude.
And
You were
we
trying
ended
to-
up
how old were you?
turning the oven
I was
on.
old, dude. I was like 13, maybe. I should have known
No,
better.
Still
we were
young.
I tried to
like-
make eggs.
We were definitely. I was like.
But
5 or
what
6.
what part did
had
you
to be
fuck
like
up at?
7.
Like, what'd you do?
My mom used to have the manteles, plastic
Plastic
table,
ones, but we store everything in
whatever,
the oven.
in the
you know?
oven, and I turned
We're
on the
Mexican.
oven instead of turning on the stovetop.
Oh,
And they fucking
melted.
melted,
my
and,
And they
then
were
she
next
started
door,
smoking.
but
And it was
they
crazy.
weren't even
It was
home,
so
dude.
insane.
It was just the three
next
of us.
door.
Yeah, they were at a
next door.
party.
That's fucking
Anyways,
nuts.
yeah.
Last time we got left alone.
So I feel Jim Jones there, man. I kind of grew up watching fucking Maury and
You
Bernie
heard it for your
Manteles.
folks. Monster released to Jim Jones.
Oh no!
Somebody clip that.
Well, he
Have
has
you
a good point.
started a
He has some
cult?
good points. All right. So they traveled all over the state to find decent food and shelter. The Jones family settled in Lynn, Indiana, where Jones grew up going to church and even made a few friends, but mostly being known as a strange kid. Sorry for the weird pacing, by the way, because the way you copied and pasted just, yeah. Some family and friends alleged that Jones would hold funerals for his pets and that he even stabbed a cat once.
What the fuck?
You
That's
know,
weird.
I was gonna say, having a funeral for a pet is not that weird, but stabbing.
Then it's like if your cat, like maybe he's playing funeral and the cat, like you're supposed to be dead, and then he stabs the cat.
Oh my god.
god.
Maybe that's like, all right, hold on, that's not okay, dude.
You're not playing the part.
You're not playing it. You have to commit. Like, but Jones mostly ignored the name calling and focused on high school. During his academic years, he was an avid reader of Adolf Hitler and Karl Marx.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy was cooked.
Yeah.
From the get-go, it's nuts.
Ingraining a radical mindset from a young age, he graduated with honors. All right, in
So he wasn't
1948.
stupid.
Huh?
He wasn't stupid.
No, he was just weird. Kind of like Robert. I'm just playing. The America.
Dang, that's nuts.
I'll
My
cut
baby
that.
is
I'll cut that.
weird. No, you're good.
Leave it in.
The America that a young Jim Jones had grown up in, and the America that a now lonely 20-year-old Jim Jones found himself in, were polar opposites. So basically, he grew up extremely poor, right? I mean, people starving. You seen the picture of the lady that sold her kids and shit,
Oh yeah.
right? And textbooks
What
and
the
stuff. And then
fuck?
in his 20s,
I mean, back then,
Yeah, it was
everybody
a
was
Great
poor.
Depression.
No one
I
had
mean-
money.
Back in my
There
day.
was-
you can get a kid for
Yeah.
about 50 cents. And he became, when he graduated high school, it was like hardcore capitalism, buy this car, buy this house, buy this coffee brand, you know what I mean? All over the place. TV blew up. Commercials were everywhere.
A lot of electronics started coming out, a
Yeah,
lot
exactly. After World War II.
Of,
So,
it became very consumer based.
exactly. Between a
Economy.
childhood living in a shack to a blooming post-war economy, his 20s saw a country obsessed with the spending and consuming. Jones disapproved of all of this, opting instead for a life of necessity and community headed by a communist government. So he was like really down for communist movements, Karl Marxism, Stalinism, whatever. And in 1951, he actually joined the Communist Party of Indiana, which I didn't know was a thing. But when I watched Oppenheimer, I mean, I knew communism was like.
I haven't watched Oppenheimer yet.
Well, there's like this
You
whole.
didn't get to watch it?
You never seen it?
No, I was watching
No.
It took me
Barbie.
like a week to watch it.
You
It's
watched
like,
Barbie?
I watched
Yeah.
It's like
Movie's good.
Okay, Ken.
Barbie. Barbie.
Ken.
Barbie.
Ken was my goat.
You said I am Kenough.
I mean,
Yeah, so there's this huge, like, communism was a big deal back in the 60s, 50s, because they were kind of trying to push communism out, spread democracy and whatever, Vietnam and all that bullshit. I don't think, yeah. So he joined the Communist Party in Indiana and wanted to introduce more people to the teachings of communism. But at that time, the anti-communist sentiment in America was at an all-time high. So, Senator Joseph McCarthy's anti-communist politics was making it very difficult and dangerous for anyone to identify as a communist. Senator McCarthy was a stern opponent of socialism and regularly used spear tactics to ruin the public reputation of anyone who identified as a communist from all parts of America. This practice was later coined McCarthyism. So basically, like, if you wanted to be a communist, like, they would slander you and, like, talk shit, discredit you. If you were a teacher, they'd get you fired. You know what I mean? Like, which makes...
I feel like you'd happen to that. That would happen now. Like, if anybody try to say that or...
I mean, I don't know. You go to college campuses, there are kids that say that they're communists or whatever,
really?
Marxists, yeah.
Commies? Is that what they call commies?
Commies, yeah.
Ah.
That's what Red Foreman.
I thought it was
stick
his
foot in
I thought it was very
someone's
frowned
ass.
upon still in society.
Nah, I mean it's like whatever communism is. It's like the opposite of what America's based on, right? Capitalism and, like, the opportunity to become
What's
rich.
really wrong? Okay.
What's really wrong? Capitalism.
The government telling you what to buy.
Telling you, yeah. But I mean, communism is the belief that, like, the central government has a lot more power and they control everything and they balance, like, food and shelter and wages and stuff like that. And you can see that sentiment. I feel like it's very big sentiment. It's very popular in countries where they're getting fucked over. You know what I mean? Like in Monterrey, one of the reasons, or in Mexico in January, one of the reasons that AMLO, he's like a socialist president almost, and he's like, what's the word? Empathetic to other communist or, like, socialist presidents in other countries. Because of that, like, his ideas of spreading the wealth and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And that's why I think people are very torn between that, like, you have Mexicans that are doing very well that don't like him, and then you have, like, half our family that's like, he's the best thing ever, right? Because he cares about the people and this and that. And it's, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can see, like, obviously growing up very poor, how that would be very,
of course.
Appealing, right?
Yes,
beneficial.
It definitely changes your view depending on how you were raised. A lot of people that have grown up with no money value the littlest things.
Yeah, especially because, I mean, if you're rich, dude, it's easier.
Even
to get
like
rich.
Clean water, the
basic
necessities.
necessities, right? And he's been through it. I mean, his fucking dad was in and out of hospital. He grew up poor as shit. He had to rely on his tias and shit. So I can understand this whole, like, leaning towards communism. But he, like, goes in. Like, he becomes... the whole point of the damn city at one point is because of the communist concept of building a commune. I mean, that's literally in the name, Right, Marlon?
He is the commune.
So, after experiencing some firsthand McCarthy-esque harassment outside a courthouse, Jim Jones became so frustrated with the government's scheme of destroying communists in America that he started his own scheme. He started selling
you gotta get that bag, man.
Herbalife.
Even though Jones was an open communist, he managed to become a student pastor at a local Methodist church, where his charismatic speaking earned him a small following. And I also found out, it doesn't say it on here, but I watched, I don't know if you know Moist Critical.
That's my go.
Charlie.
That's my go.
He has he's part of the Red Thread podcast, and they talk about shit like this. They went over Jim Jones, and he was saying how, like, he was actually, like, a teacher, and he would, like, try to convert kids and stuff like that, and, like, he would plant students in the class to ask questions, like, that would promote communism, like, this and that, and then, it would convince the rest of the kids, the class or whatever. Like, it's kind of crazy.
I mean, that's how you get your influence.
Your but that's kind of insane. I don't know, but yeah. Anyways,
that's crazy.
But Jim Jones soon left that church after it was revealed that they refused a mixed race congregation. So he was part of that Methodist church, and they didn't allow mixed race in that church because this was the 50s, dude. They didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? And he's like, "What? That's crazy."
Back then they let that slide. That's crazy.
He's like, I'll forgive the racism. I'll forgive the what is it? But communism, I cannot let slide. Like, yeah. Jones decided that he had bigger sights. In 1956, he bought his own church building and organized a large convention featuring revered religious figures to attract more people to what soon would be his own church. And he named it Wings of Deliverance. Which, I mean,
what is it?
Wings of Deliverance.
That sounds pretty cool.
Before later renaming it to the People's Temple, Full Gospel Church. He said it sounded too cool. To allow more people to flock to his message. Jones would integrate his extremist beliefs into a form of religion, causing people to commit themselves fully to his ideals.
And you know, it's so crazy. Like, there's so many people right now that do have that influence, that are showing, like, hey, look at me, I'm doing this, and they're promoting unhealthy stuff. Like, I know there's this one girl, she does, like, she's very, very skinny, and a lot of people want to be like her, but she also doesn't eat, and that's anorexic, you know? And so it shows to where it's like, she's making young girls want to be anorexic, to look like her. And so it just makes her, and she likes it. She likes the attention she gets from it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, so you're saying that, like, she's using
the influence,
whatever, basically whatever.
But I'm just saying, well, not just her, but like people in general. Like, now it's like a lot of people will have the influence, and it's like a group of people will start to think a certain way, and then they get more people that think the same way, and the stronger they get, the more they think they're right.
They what's the word? Like, it's like an echo chamber. He's just like digging deeper into, like, you know, so
deep
you
in the
really
rabbit hole.
Like
Scientology. Right. I mean, God, God damn it, Sophie. Now they're gonna come after us. You think I want Tom Cruise in my front door? God. No, I mean, yeah, I think you see that a lot nowadays too. Is a lot of people with power and influence, and I feel like, you know, the bigger they get, the more they have to double down on what made them that big. You know what I mean? So if his thing was being, you know, a radical religious nut, and it gained him followers, and he has to like double down on it, you get so lost in that, you know, you start to believe in yourself. Yeah. Right, Marlon?
He got that, what do you call it?
The religious riz. Religious riz.
The dopamine rush of getting that.
But also, like, people will do like literally whatever they can to get famous, right? Like,
oh yeah, that's how it is now too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you've seen, like, he's literally, there's a lot of stuff in here that he might have actually believed in the past, but once he gets further along, you'll see that he doesn't care about any of that. Like the mixed segregation. He opened his church for everybody, gay people, straight people, races, whatever race. But it's not that he actually believes in it, but he's just doing it because he's trying to build a following. You know what I mean?
Like you want to follow me? Come on.
Oh, yeah, everybody do. We don't give a shit. We're open. We're progressive.
He's doing it. He was a clout chaser.
Right.
Oh, my
He's
God.
a clout chaser, exactly. He's like, what? Yeah. You like pineapple on pizza? We love you too, big dog. I know Ceci loves pineapple. But I'm just saying, like,
for real.
Literally anything you probably told him, he'd be like, yeah, we love that. Bring that shit over here. And I'm not saying progressiveness, like, wasn't the right thing to do. I'm just saying that he's using it because even at the very end,
evil.
For evil.
Every villain
is
lemons.
Every villain is lemons. That's right.
For real.
And at the very end, you'll see that he's like, I don't even believe in God. I don't believe in Jesus and this all that stuff. And I'm like, God, he's just literally manipulating people, like legit, just to build a following, to have that power. You know what I mean? He's literally like sociopath, dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He began performing healing sessions and clairvoyant revelations. And ended up attracting attention of many spiritualists. So he'd be like, some lady would go to the bathroom and walk out with like chicken gizzards, and it'd be like, "Oh, he took the cancer out of me," or like,
what the fuck?
Like, "I can see again," and then half those people were just hired. You know what I mean? Actors and shit. Yeah.
Paid actors.
Yeah. He wasn't actually healing people,
he was cooking, bro.
Yeah, that man had a plot, dude. And I mean, it was the 70s. It's not like you can Google anything. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, a lot of people didn't know nothing.
Yeah, that's how it was back then.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, it must have been so easy to lie back then, dude, right?
Oh, no, yeah. And like, I saw another thing where back then, because they didn't have any internet, you could like, let's say you don't want to be part of your family anymore. You just want to run away, and I don't know, just abandon your family, right?
You
I know
cross
it's
the
fucked
border.
up. Huh?
You just cross the border.
No, like you could literally go to another town, like literally the next state away,
Yeah.
and you will never be found.
They will never be
because-
found,
they'll never-
yeah.
because you know the internet doesn't exist, no
Right.
phone numbers, or anything. You just leave.
Yeah, like you could be like 10 miles away and they would
But
like,
now-
oh, like, we
now-
haven't seen him in 10 years.
Like now, you got social media. You
Yes,
got everybody
security
got a phone on
cameras,
them, security
all the
cameras,
time. Traffic.
everything, bro.
Yeah, it's true, man. Yeah, it's too late now, bro. You can't run away
The
now,
time
bro.
for killing people is,
Yeah,
is over.
it's gone.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know. Marlon does live in the middle of nowhere, so
I do live in the middle of nowhere. It's
he
unfortunate.
might have been the one that blew up the bridge. So
What bridge?
by your house.
Wait, what bridge? Oh, that one.
Yeah. So
wasn't
they'll
even
never
blown
find the
up.
bodies in the middle.
Shh.
Jones had preached racial desegregation, opening his church to members of any ethnic group, also helping racially
He was
integrate
woke.
other churches, restaurants, police departments, and theaters.
What year was this?
The 57.
Still 57. Yeah.
At that time, Jones seemed like a kind and progressive man, and over the years, more and more people started joining the church. By the 1970s, he had almost 3,000 members, dude.
Oh shit.
Yes, sir. In Indiana too. Like it's not even like a cool place where people get together. You know what I mean? Like it's Indiana.
It's pretty big.
Middle of nowhere.
In the early 70s, Jones relocated his church from Indianapolis to San Francisco.
Okay.
Yeah, because he claimed that Indianapolis was not
He was
progressive
going for the
enough
gays.
to house his people. He wants them gays. Oh my, he's coming for them gays. Oh my God. He also opened up a temple in Los Angeles, growing as a
Really?
religious icon in California. What?
You said Los Angeles?
Yeah, he opened up.
Oh, no,
He
that's
ended up
San
opening up
Francisco,
more.
huh?
He ended up opening up like 7 churches in Cali, from like I don't know. It's way different cities. He had like hella followers, dude. Growing as a religious icon in California, Jones would receive support from public officials and politicians like Governor Jerry
Wow.
Brown, columnist Herb Cain, and even the Vice President Walter Mondale, whatever, for his charitable efforts and progressive teachings. And I know, like at some point, civil rights activists and celebrities and movies are like, "Oh yeah, dude, we love this dude. He's promoting peace. He's promoting, you know." But in reality, behind the curtain, things were really weird. You know what I mean? Yeah, behind the curtain, people were complaining about some really weird shit. So like, it almost gets culty before he leaves to whatever. I know we're gonna talk about it right now, but like some people were complaining about like he'd tell them like in the deep levels of his church, like he'd tell people like who to marry, like when they should have sex and this and that, and who they would have kids with, and like I don't know, it got really weird. He was on hella drugs. This man
Oh,
was
really?
doing drugs out the ass. And he was like telling people, you hear right now, people were complaining that like at some point he made everybody sell all their shit and donate it to the church. Kind of like those like evangelical guys, what is it called? Those mega rich guys. The guy that looks like a demon, what's his name?
Yeah, with the fucking blue eyes.
No,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, I need my private jet. I have to spread the word of Jesus. I'm like, dude, come on, man.
private jet is insane.
Come on. Yeah, for real.
But there's people that will follow it too.
No, dude, they do.
Exactly.
You have abuelitas giving
Delusional.
entire fucking like life savings into that shit. You know what I mean?
I feel yeah.
They're
That's
like, I'm dying anyways. I'm like, dude, what the hell? You're selling the
Yeah.
house?
You have
dude? What?
grandkids.
Yeah, you have fucking
They're
grandkids.
hungry.
You said, fuck them kids. I grew up in depression. I ain't have shit. As the year progressed, okay, signs of trouble. As the years progressed, Jones' once high public opinion would begin to crumble, causing a shift in the minds of general population. After opening up his church in multiple locations across California and an increase of devoted members, the larger public began growing increasingly critical of Jones and his followers. With the anti-communist sentiment growing in the United States, several newspapers started criticizing Jones and the People's Temple. And that's actually really interesting because, like, they make a conspiracy claim that he didn't do any of that, that it was the CIA trying to shut him down.
What?
Because he's communist. Because they're like, oh shit, they're building a tiny communist town downtown. You know what I mean? In San Francisco, we got to shut that shit down, right? And I mean, knowing the shit they've, that's come to light, I wouldn't put it to, I wouldn't say it
Wouldn't happen.
might not be a possibility, but like when you see the shit that happened, I'm like, nah, that's crazy as fuck. But anyways, rumors were starting to spread about his strict leadership style and his questionable relationship with some of his members. Former members of the People's Temple even accused Jones of forcing them to sell their houses and belongings to raise money for the group. the group was seemingly becoming more of a cult than a harmless church. Realizing that he was becoming more and more unpopular among the American public, Jones began looking for a way to escape the American media. Because, all the fake news everywhere.
Fake
spreading.
news.
Fake news. I can't do a Trump accent. It's so scary, though, because I feel like how many people don't see that Trump stuff, and these people are like,
Thinking
that's
it's
my
real.
God, that's my Jesus.
That's
like,
my goat.
That's my goat. And I'm like, dude, he's just an old white guy. Like, relax. Like, not even Bernie Sanders and shit. Like, people like love the guy, but
Yeah, I remember Bernie.
you
back
know
in
what I
my
mean?
day.
Like, I'm just saying, like, it's become a cult, dude. They're so
Yeah.
obsessed. Like, there's nothing that he can do no wrong. Like, he asked them to sell your property, sell your shoes, sell everything.
People are still
They would
donating
do
to
that.
him,
Like, that's
yeah.
insane. Because he sells that narrative of like the world's ending, only I can save you. I don't know. It's crazy.
So brain.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
Brain
lot
rot.
of. I don't know. I mean, you can say that about a lot of people, but like their followers are like hardcore, dude. I'll give them that. I don't know.
They're almost as
Yeah.
bad as Swifties.
Swifties, no.
That's
whoa,
a
whoa,
whole
whoa.
nother level.
That's completely reasonable. All right? Taylor Swift has given her life for us.
I don't know.
You gotta get canceled right
Like
away.
the what is it, the K-pop fans. I think it was
K-pop,
was it
BTS,
K-pop?
and all that.
Them stands were nuts.
Yeah,
they were
crazy,
running
dude.
Twitter.
They
like,
probably killed each other, to be honest.
probably.
Most definitely. So Jones began looking for a way to escape the American media. He decided his best course of action was to reestablish his church in another country, to be able to preach his morals without the scrutiny of the media. And because his followers were so devoted to Jones, they decided to move with him. Like, you're telling me if Trump didn't say, "Hey, we're moving to fucking, Cancun," like his people wouldn't be like, "All right, fuck it,
Let's
we're gonna
go."
start a new country in Cancun."
I feel like they would.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's scary, dude.
I mean, not all of them, but,
But enough, like
enough would probably
yeah.
follow him.
After looking at multiple places like Canada, Barbados, and Trinidad, Jones settled on Guyana. With the socialist politics of Guyana, it seemed like the perfect place to settle his now completely devoted followers. The Guyanese government subsequently welcomed them into the country. Like, they were like, "Oh, sweet, come here."
That bunch of people, hell yeah.
Americans, por favor. I don't know what
Mhm.
language they speak. I think they speak English, right?
Where?
In Guyana.
I don't know where that is.
I have no idea.
He's like-
Yeah, you're right. I don't know where that is.
The Guyanese government subsequently welcomed them into the country because at the time, the disputed border between Venezuela and Guyana was becoming an increasingly dangerous problem, with the risk of an attack looming over either nation.
In Venezuela?
Yeah, between
Oh,
Venezuela
wow.
and Guyana. The Guyanese government reasoned that situating Americans near the disputed border would lower the chances of an attack. So basically,
If we have more
there's
people,
like this
they
piece
can't
of
beat us.
land that both sides are fighting over, and the Guyana government was like, "You guys can live there, and hopefully they won't attack a bunch of Americans." You know what I mean? Like, they
Then
just use them as
America's
a
gonna
shield.
come in,
Yeah.
okay?
It's crazy. I don't know.
Homelander gonna come.
Oh, Homelander. What the hell? Nevertheless, Jones and hundreds of his followers started flowing through the border to settle into the Guyanese capital of Jonestown.
Immigrants.
They subsequently renamed their group to the People's Temple Agricultural Project, informally known as Jonestown. Jonesboro. Jones would portray Jonestown as a utopia or a socialist paradise, away from all the pressure of the American media. What the members of the group did not know, however, was that Jones had restricted their visas, effectively barring any of them from leaving the country. Yeah, that's
How
crazy.
did he do that?
What do you mean? When they got there, he just like, "All right, guys, give me all
Oh,
your documents."
he took everybody's
Yeah.
papers?
What?
What?
Yeah, so you can't leave, dude.
That's
You
crazy.
fucked up, buddy.
He got him.
He got him. Yeah, it's crazy. By curtailing their visas, everybody became completely reliant on Jones for everything, including news on the outside, emotional, spiritual support, as well as basic everyday needs, thus allowing him to become the only channel of knowledge in their completely isolated society. Damn,
That's
he was their
crazy.
Facebook, basically.
Damn, bro, that's nuts.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. Life in Jonestown was bleak. Jones would force his followers to watch Soviet propaganda documentaries, give lectures about the revolution and alliances with the Soviet. An ex-cult member, Deborah, recalls that frequently at temple meetings, Jones would talk nonstop for hours. At various times, he would claim that he was the reincarnation of Lenin, Jesus Christ, or one of the variety of other political religious
That
figures.
Lenin?
Yeah, it's,
John Lennon?
not Joseph Lenin, right? Was
Oh.
it?
I don't know.
The Russian Soviet fucking dude. It's Stalin, Joseph Stalin, and I can't remember his name. Something Lenin.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, he was like controlling the narrative, but like behind the scenes, what people don't know is that he was like high out of his mind. Like he's high as shit. He's paranoid as fuck.
That's what I'm thinking. Like the paranoia.
He's scared as fuck. He's stressing out, and apparently,
And he has to decide over all these people
Yeah.
what they're gonna do every day.
and
It's like he's babysitting a bunch of children.
I mean, 1,000 children. That's
1,000 children
fucking
is
crazy,
crazy.
dude. Like,
So out of the 3,000 followers that he had, he only took 1,000 with him.
well, I think I don't know how many people the town had at max. I just know the casualties. Like,
Alright.
yeah. So we'll get to
Ah.
that.
Okay.
So because there's a mixture of like apparently like some of it was most of them were the Americans that moved over there, and then also because they were also socialists, like some of them were some Guyanese residents. You know what I
Guyanese
mean?
residents.
So he was really high half the time, really paranoid, really scared. He was collecting people's shit, and he would randomly wake them up in the middle of the night and have these. I think he called them white night rehearsals or something like that. So he would call everybody into the pavilion and tell them there's an emergency
That man was
and
coked
serve
out.
juice. Right? He would serve juice. And he'd be like, everybody, like, we gotta talk about something. And 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, wake them up, get everybody out, right? And then everybody drank it like, you guys just drank poison. You're gonna die in 10 minutes. And everybody would freak the fuck out, right? And then he'd stop and be like, I'm just kidding, you guys aren't dying. But he would do that a lot, like all the time, like and almost like
Preparing.
It's a
preparing
prank.
them. Yeah, it's a prank. Yeah, it's a prank. It's a prank, guys. Like,
That's crazy.
but like they would freak the fuck out, and then I guess he was like training them. You know what I mean?
or
like,
to see their
beating them.
loyalty. Like,
Yeah, I
are they gonna
guess,
beat him
dude,
up,
like-
or are they gonna gang up against them? Are they gonna like?
But if they already drank the Kool-Aid, who cares, right? I mean, they're gonna die.
Hey, he's gonna die faster than me.
Yeah, I
okay?
guess. She said not today, motherfucker. One of us making out the gulag, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah. So he literally would do that all the time. So they got used to it, And so he's just losing his shit, to be honest, in the back.
Gaslighting, bro.
Yeah, for the gaslighting king, dude. Crazy. Members would work 6 days a week with near 12-hour shifts every day and only an hour for lunch. Even
Sounds
then,
like me.
damn, that's more than I get, dude. I get 30 minutes.
I get an hour.
With only an hour for lunch. Even then, much of the food needed to be imported. And on some days, the only thing that would be served to eat was rice and beans. Which is fucked up because
I like that.
SBM.
he's like, what? Again, Mexican childhood, dude. What's the problem?
I love rice and
Working
beans.
What's
6
wrong with
days
that?
a week.
I
rice and
love
beans.
I can live off that.
Rice and beans? What kind of beans?
Mm-hmm.
I like frijoles de olla.
Hell yeah.
With,
So pinto
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
I'll eat that.
I like black beans, pinto
Así
beans,
nomás.
charro beans,
All beans.
I can eat it
lentils,
without
lentils.
any cheese or anything.
No, without it?
I can.
Oh,
I
okay,
would.
yeah, yeah.
I would
Oh, okay.
prefer queso
I thought
fresco.
American
Yeah, queso
cheese
fresco.
was
Like
considered,
a little triangle and then
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But-
Tortilla,
Well, you get the
tortilla de
beans by
harina.
themselves, okay?
beans by themselves too.
Yeah.
You know.
Sometimes
Pero
be
de
like
olla.
that, okay?
I be fucking with beans too, man. I'm not gonna lie. When Ceci makes
Ah,
frijoles
so
charros,
Mexican.
dude, I be
Oh
fucking
yeah.
That sounds so
Can y'all make
Mexican.
it?
Yeah.
For real.
Mexican eating beans. Newsflash.
up. We just call it the beaner podcast, bro. Just like, cooked beans.
Hey, los frijoles.
Quemados, bro. Frijoles quemados.
Frijoles fritos.
Yeah.
I'll fuck up some fritos too.
Oh, for real, dude.
Good
All right,
time.
sorry, we deviated into
Good
a
time,
whole
good time.
bean section in this. This
Beans.
Somebody said beans. What the fuck? All right.
We better have a cold beans.
Oh God. So it's fucked up because Jones, even though he was all for communism and like sharing, he had his own building. Like he didn't live with them. He lived separate.
Oh, what?
He
Wait,
lived
so where
separate.
would they stay?
There's
They
a
had
lot of
they
them.
built an
Imagine-
entire little city.
Oh, and damn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
a
built
whole
an
town.
entire little town.
That's
I
what
should
the-
be showing pictures and stuff, but honestly, this shit is so.
On the
Yeah, you can put
recording,
them up on the edits.
Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah. You guys, I guess you want
It's
to
right
see
here.
it. It's
Yeah,
they lived
here.
right here at the bottom. No, but seriously, it's very fucked up because he ate good. I mean, he slept good, and I'm pretty sure he woke up at 3 p.m, which is why he was getting everybody to get up at fucking 4 a.m.
2 in the morning. Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was on
Yo,
drugs.
wake up,
after that
tell
time.
him, get to work, and then go back to sleep.
And he would record himself talking, and it would be playing all the time on the intercom.
What
Yeah,
the fuck?
brain-
That's
Like,
weird.
it's fucking insane. Yeah. And they're just like, oh, I wonder what Teddy's gonna go, and then all you hear is
That
like, they're
brain rot.
oppressing us. Mr. Crab is in there,
The Krusty Krab is unfair.
feeding us the oppression. What is it? I don't know.
The bear is funny. What was it?
I don't know. Like, just hearing that in the background, dude. I don't know why you're fucking plowing beans. I don't know.
What there is the
That's crazy. All right, hold on. The members, including Jones, lived in small communal houses woven from the truly palm. Couples would even surrender their children to communal care, sometimes only being able to see them briefly at night. So basically, like, if you had kids, you had to give them up for like the kid area.
What the
So you could only see your kids like at night or once a week or something like that.
Like a daycare type shit.
No, it's not a
Or
daycare.
like the
it's kind
opposite?
of like a community took care of the kids. They were almost no longer your kids, kind of thing. You know
It
what I
takes a
mean?
village, you know.
I mean, literally takes a village. I don't know.
Not even in the good way. Either.
Not in a good
Is that where they
way.
got that reference?
Oh my god!
There, you always had that tia that took care of all the kids.
Now you got 1,000 tias, dude. What taking care of your kids?
For real.
Jonestown was surrounded by armed guards patrolling the area to enforce rules. If a member was caught trying to escape, they'd be injected with various drugs as part of an extended care unit to try to,
What
like,
the hell?
you know, fuck them up. Tell them, you know, keep them in place. In fact, Jonestown contained thousands of doses of depressants, enough to inject the entire population of Jonestown
the
hundreds of
fuck?
times, dude. That's
What?
crazy.
Hundreds of times.
Damn.
Where the
Where
fuck
is
is he
getting
getting
all
this
this
shit?
stuff
Yeah, it's
from?
not like where's he
Like-
getting all this shit from?
So I found out through that podcast that he got his jeweler's license. So that means he could import like thousands of gallons of cyanide and shit because like he just basically got his license to do things. And because he's a town, I guess they didn't think it was weird. You know what I mean?
Oh.
That he's like importing like medication and shit like that. But in reality, he's like, give me all the good stuff. You know what I mean? Give me all
So
fuck
he-
penicillin, fuck
Yeah,
aspirin.
for
You know what I
real.
mean? Give me that formaldehyde, motherfucker. Like, because they were using it as an excuse to, like, you know, prevent plants from being pesticides and shit like that. I don't know. Piojos, I guess. I don't know. I'm assuming it's fucking jungle, right? So I guess he, like, you know, he had the right.
Documentation for it.
Yeah, I guess the licenses and shit.
Mm-hmm.
To, like, and nobody really. I mean, it's the 70s, dude. What are you gonna do? Google him?
That's true.
Like,
That is true.
I think we keep falling back to that. Man, if only they had cell phones, dude. Like,
Amber alerts, bro.
yeah, Amber Alerts.
TikTok, bro.
Although, even with all of these seemingly horrible rules, when interviewed by the American Embassy, none of the 75 people questioned said that they wanted to leave Jonestown. Every few nights, events nicknamed White Night rehearsals, there you go, would be performed. During these nights, Jones would line up the members and give them a drink, usually the being punch or Kool-Aid. After the members drank the liquid, he would claim that the drink was actually poison and they would die in 45 minutes. But as the name White Night Rehearsal suggests, the poison wasn't real. So yeah, it was just
Fucking
telling you.
dick.
Yeah. Damn. By this time, Jones had started noticing that people were expressing thoughts of leaving Jonestown. To counteract this sentiment, he taught his followers to turn in anyone who told them. Yeah, he started turning people into each other, right? On each other. So anyone who told them they wanted to leave, allowing members to compete in their level of devotion and fear punishment at any time. Forcing his followers to doubt each other and scheme against each other only elevated their reliance on Jones and increased his perceived position amongst them. So a lot of you had like parents turning in sons and like brothers turning in brothers and
That's
shit like
crazy.
that, and like it's really fucked up. I mean, he had them really brainwashed. So the calm before the storm. Do you want to read this part or?
No, I think you're good.
Oh, God.
You did really well. You did really well.
My lips are
okay.
getting tired. All these pronunciations,
Exactly.
all these English
dude.
words. Marlon, you want to read?
I don't mind reading, but you're gonna have to like cut me off when you want to talk about stuff because I'm
All
gonna
right.
just keep on reading
I'll
and
touch your
reading.
lap. Just start
that's
right
fine.
there, call before.
I'm like, I'm gonna start
I'll start. I'll
stuttering.
just squeeze your knees when it's ready.
Whoa.
Okay, so where were you?
That's not his
Right
name.
there. Calm before the storm.
All right. Calm before. Can you hear me? Is it
I
picking
can
up?
hear you.
Calm before the storm.
You said what?
Back in America, accusations of illegal activity occurring at Jonestown
That's me.
were starting to get serious. Relatives of people's temple members and ex-members were participating in meetings, planning on how to bring the questionable actions of Jim Jones to light. Together, the group named themselves Concerned Relatives. Oh, that's a pretty good name.
Damn, that sounds like a.
Like they were literally concerned.
What should we call each other?
Well, we are concerned.
What are
as-
we? Concerned? What do we
What are-
want? Relatives?
At first, they
That's fucked up. You're
engaged.
making fun of these people. Now, these are the people that are in America.
Ah,
These
Are
people in
in
America,
America?
yeah, and they're trying to like, yo, what the fuck? My cousin is in Guyana right now. I haven't heard from him in 3 months, and he owes me $200. Like, yeah, like there's like that. Like people are trying to get in contact with the relatives, and nobody knows what the fuck is going on. Google doesn't exist. TikTok doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Cell phones
bet.
don't.
Mail's probably not getting there. you
Probably
know.
not. It probably if it is
He's throwing
Jim
it
Jones
away.
is getting it, he's not
Mhm.
gonna give it to them.
yeah, that's true. At first, they engaged in letter writing campaigns to the U.S. Secretary of State and even traveled to Washington, D.C. to attempt to spark an investigation. In 1978, the group handed out a packet of documents outlining the illegal activity happening in Jonestown, titled Accusations of Human Rights Violations by Rev. James Warren Jones, to members of the press and members of the Congress.
So it's Jones versus Jones. Okay.
Jones versus Jones.
Yes, sir.
Johnson and Johnson.
Johnson.
Jones, in retaliation, hired an attorney, Mark
What?
Lane, to try to prove that the CIA, the FBI, and the U.S. Post Office was trying to fabricate an elaborate conspiracy
Not the post
against
office, dude.
Huh?
Not the post office, dude. What the? Anybody but the.
Not
That's
the-
how I know he's lying.
CIA, FBI,
And the
Post
USPS. Yes, sir.
USPS. Look at FedEx and that bitch.
Yeah. We're only FedEx in this house. goddamn.
Needless to say, these claims were unfounded. But on the other side, the concerned relatives were making significant progress. In fact, Leo Ryan, a U.S. representative, announced that he would visit Jonestown and investigate the practice of Jones and the group.
I mean, I think it's kind of like you got to imagine the attorney that defended them, like what kind of life he would have afterwards. He's like, fuck, I really fucked up. Like if you think OJ's attorney feels bad, like this guy must feel horrible. Which I'm sure he's not alive right now at this point, but I'm just saying that's
Yeah.
pretty fucked.
Probably not.
And yeah, we got Giga Chad. What's his name?
Mark?
Leon Ryan.
Oh.
Yeah, Leo Ryan.
Yeah, Leo Ryan said, you know what? Let's go see what these people are up to.
So they sent him from. He's from.
No,
the
he
southern-
decided, like, you know what? You know, I hear you guys. Let's go check up on him.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's go see what's going on. So he took him and like a few reporters, I think.
Yeah. So that's where it gets to it. On
Mhm.
November 14th, 1978, Leo Ryan, along with a group of around 20 people, including news reporters, photographers, and members of the concerned relatives, flew to Guyana, capital Georgetown. Upon arrival in Georgetown, another flight was needed to reach Jonestown, and because of the aircraft seating limitations, only a limited number of people could be flown to the location. Upon arrival, Jones initially only allowed Leo Ryan and 3 others to enter Jonestown, while the rest of the group would be welcomed in after sunset.
What?
That's kind of weird, right?
Hey man, he's trying to fuck up their plans, bro.
Well, yeah, basically. But I mean, 3 is all you need, maybe.
I guess. I don't know.
Upon finally arriving at Jonestown, the group was welcomed with dinner and entertainment, and Jones even
He's
agreed.
like, rice and beans. My favorite.
Even tiene
Rice
queso
and,
fresco.
rice and beans and some 12-hour labor.
Yeah.
And Jones even agreed to speak with news reporters on camera. So they did have. Well,
No,
that's
yeah. All
1978,
of this
yeah.
is recorded.
Yeah, all this is
Like
recorded.
there's a recording for all. Like yeah,
I might have to watch this when I get home.
it's pretty fucked. I'll send you the link.
Everything seemed to be going well, but under the surface, Jones was losing grip and his paranoia was setting in.
Those drugs,
Yeah,
okay.
them drugs, bro. Stay off them drugs,
That
kids.
man was losing it.
It was later revealed and confirmed that Jones had run rehearsals on how to try and convince Ryan that nothing was wrong. Man had to-
What?
He's like,
What?
this is great. This is awesome.
This man was doing
This is
like
great. You like those beans? We got plenty of those.
He was just looking in the mirror, talking to himself like, "How am I going to convince this
Yeah.
man?" But apparently, Jones didn't pay enough attention to his followers that night because at 2:15 p.m. on the same day, Vernon
I don't know,
Gonsley,
his name-
that
yeah,
is a heart, Vernon Gonsley, and Monica Bagby, two cult members, passed NBA reporter Don Harris a note.
Oh.
On the following day, Harris confronted Jones about the note. The following day, a violent rainstorm started pouring into Jonestown.
Yeah, so apparently I cut out the quotes because in the video they referenced the guy. He actually survived, that guy,
Oh, yeah?
and they interviewed him. And apparently what happened was that like he tried to give the note, and like it fell out of his pocket or whatever, and then he like picked it up and said, "Hey, he told the NBA reporter, hey, you dropped this." And some kid saw it and he's like, "Oh, he's passing a note. He's passing a note." Like a little kid snitching on him. "Oh, he's passing a note. He's passing a note." Like, and they were like already like on it. It was fucked up. It was very fucked up. Like little kids snitching on you, dude. Like, pinche mocoso, mind your own business, dude.
What did they do to him?
They kind of skip over that because right after the reporter gives the note to I think Leo Ryan,
Oh, okay.
and then Leo
Yeah.
Ryan goes to Jones and be like, "What's up with this, man? What's going on?" Right, which I think is coming up.
Did they say what the note said?
That they wanted help leaving.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Help us, please.
Help me.
So, the following day, a violent rainstorm started pouring into Jonestown. During the downpour, more members started changing their minds. Reporters were told by several members that they wanted to leave Jonestown. And
Wow.
as the number of defectors began to grow, it became more and more chaotic. Before Ryan and the delegation knew it, the number of people who want to leave Jonestown grew to about 20 people. So,
What?
I mean, 20 people is 20 people. I was
That's
thinking
a lot.
like 200,
Oh
3,000.
no,
yeah,
they're
like,
brainwashed.
there's
OP.
like 3,000 plus people there.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I
I
mean,
was
20
thinking,
is all you need.
20, I mean, that's a bus,
that-
bro. I don't know. what
like
to
a
tell you.
small group.
That's a plenty of.
That's
people, yeah.
achievable, though.
That's a Call of Duty server. Like I mean, that's a lot of people. All right.
the
That's
delegation was
crazy. They're real
initially...
brainwashed. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, they're gone, dude.
Yeah. The delegation was initially scheduled to be picked up by a 19-passenger aircraft. Small plane, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But with the additional members, they needed a second one. Should have just got a big plane. Did they have big planes like that?
I mean, I don't
They
think
did,
you
right?
can. They had to take 2 planes to get to
Oh.
where they're at. So I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The U.S. Embassy swiftly arranged for a second plane, a 6-passenger Cessna, that was scheduled to arrive around 4:30 p.m. With the transportation prepared, the delegation and the defectors started departing from Jonestown in a truck. Oh, damn. So they left in a truck first.
Yeah, like one of those like farm trucks. You know, with the walls, the raised walls.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Dang. Leo Ryan and another official, Dwyer, stayed behind to see if there were any additional defectors. Eventually, a few others joined them to defect from Jonestown. But members were surprised when one person in particular, Larry Layton, said he wanted to defect.
I don't trust anybody named Larry. All right,
Larry
Larry.
the Crab.
Yeah, live
Larry
like
the
Larry.
Laris. What's his name? Laris?
Larry.
Living like
I only know Larry the Lobster. That's the only Larry.
Exactly.
Larry, Laris from,
He's alright. He's pretty chill.
from the House of Dragons. The feet guy.
I don't know.
I
know.
still haven't watched any yet.
I heard about that. I don't know what
The
it
feet
is.
guy. You got tripping.
Mom's
Feet
watched
guy.
it all.
Mom loves it, right? She got real into it.
Layton was an extremely loyal temple member. Ah, so that's why they were shot.
Yeah, they were like, "What the fuck? This guy?" It's like if, you know,
If like
like if Trump
like-
was the leader and the JD Vance was like, "I'll go with you guys. I don't want to get out of here." They're like, "Wait a minute." Like,
I'm a Democrat now.
how he truly felt, you know.
right. Well, we'll find out in a minute.
Okay, so he was an extremely loyal temple member and seemed strange that he was demeaning to join the group and leave Jonestown. Many other temple members voiced their suspicions of Layton's intentions, but Ryan and Dwyer ultimately let him join. While the truck was about to depart, a temple member, presumably angry that too many people were leaving, pulled out a knife and tried to stab Leo Ryan.
Yes, sir.
But before
tried-
he could do so, other members wrestled him to the ground, disarming him of his weapon.
he pulled out that pickaxe.
Who did that?
Some random
Some
person.
Oh.
like a random
Yeah.
person.
But they
didn't
stopped
they didn't
him.
even
The
say
members
that.
stopped
The
him.
members stopped him. This, along with growing tensions between the delegation and the temple members, signaled that Ryan and his crew should begin to leave immediately. They arrived at Port Kituma airstrip, where the planes were supposed to pick them up, but to Ryan's surprise, neither of the planes had shown up. Oh,
Damn.
no.
They left without him, bro.
That's actually nuts.
They never showed up.
Nah, they showed up just not later. I mean, just yeah.
After
I should probably just read because I'm over here answering questions. before-
After waiting around half an hour, the planes finally arrived. Oh, there you go. And the
half
delegation
an hour is
wasted,
not even that. Like that's
That's not that
yeah,
bad.
and the
You know what I mean?
delegation wasted no time boarding the plane. The 6-passenger Cessna was the first aircraft that was set up for takeoff. And while the aircraft taxied to the far end of the airstrip, Larry Layton, the temple loyalist, took out a handgun and started shooting at random inside the plane. He was great.
He's trying to get
He was
spawn
the
kills, dude.
imposter.
No.
He was the imposter.
He was the
No
imposter.
way.
Yeah, it's horrible. Sorry
in
for laughing.
his rampage, he wounded Bagby and Gosney, 2 temple members, and reportedly had tried to kill a third, but was ultimately disarmed.
TKing,
So he
bro.
only killed 2 people?
He's TK.
This man was shooting like
He
a
only shot 2
stormtrooper.
people, no?
No,
He
he shot
shot,
at the
he
he
plane.
shot, he shot at random.
But he didn't kill anybody.
He killed 2.
He killed
Oh,
two
he
people.
did.
Yeah.
I thought he only shot
He
them.
tried to kill a third, but was ultimately disarmed.
Oh no!
I had the aim of a
Fuck
goddamn
him, man.
stormtrooper,
I
bro.
don't know, dude. I guess.
That's crazy.
Probably didn't know how to use a gun. He
They
just
should have
started
just pushed
No,
him out.
yeah. I
the,
mean, I'm assuming they just didn't know how to use guns.
they should
yeah.
have pushed him out of the helicopter.
The plane was still on the strip. It hadn't even left. And it's not even a helicopter; it's an airplane.
Push him out.
Push him out of the airplane. Hold on, let's take off real quick. All right.
Just disarm him first. So they
yeah.
can throw him off the plane. Let him suffer.
He's like, if you could just let us go on the air first.
Around the same time, while the passengers were trying to get on the second plane, a tractor with a trailer attached drove up to the aircraft, parking in a way that would block the group from running into the forest.
What?
The delegation mostly ignored the truck, their main focus being trying to board a plane. But as the truck came to a stop, around 9 temple members hopped out of the trailer and started shooting at the plane with shotguns, handguns, and rifles. What the hell, bro? This all happened? This is nuts. Sounds like a movie. Sounds like a
Right?
movie. An NBC reporter that was filming at the time dropped the camera.
There's a recording of this because he was recording and then he turned around and they started shooting and then literally the camera is like falls down and they're still shooting. Like it looks like a movie almost. Yeah.
What?
So the NBC reporter was filming. He dropped the camera and recorded these images. At least 2 shooters circled the plane on foot, shooting multiple officials and temple members at point blank range.
That's crazy.
Ultimately, Bob Brown, our goat, the man who recorded the video, was killed. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
They
You
got
got
the
it on
cameraman.
R.I.P.,
That's how
man.
you know
The
that's crazy.
cameraman.
They killed the cameraman.
Along with Greg Robinson, a photographer, Don Harris, and
They killed
NBC
everybody.
reporter, Congressman Leo Ryan, and temple defector.
They killed Lil
Patricia
Ryan, the
Park.
senator. I mean, the representative.
That's nuts.
Damn.
Boarded the Cessna and flew to Georgetown, leaving the injured members on the airstrip. Damn.
So they just left them there?
I think I'm assuming they ran out of ammo. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, so they blew up that shit up. They killed the members. They killed Ryan back at Jonestown. Meanwhile, back at Jonestown, most members were unaware that a shooting had just occurred and were told that everything was fine and that they should stay in their homes. But behind this constant reassurance was a sinister plan. Jones and the other aides were preparing a large tub of grape-flavored aid laced with Valium, chlorohydrate, cyanide, and phenergram, enough to kill an adult male in 30
That's
minutes.
some lean for real.
Bro, I don't know, man.
that's
There ain't
more
no
lean.
leaning for that, dude.
It's a lot of lean. That's like
Crazy.
a little stronger lean.
Yeah, for real.
It's a full tilt.
That's the ultimate
That's the
lean.
full-
That's
that's
the
the
triple
lay
cup
down.
right there.
In
Okay.
the lean, that's laying down, bro. Like, that's it. After finishing the
Well,
mixture, I'll show you a picture of it. I'll typically, let me see, make sure Google's not okay.
I saw his tabs.
No.
How to use two
How to
Elgato face
unlock
cams.
to put me on.
Look at that, dude.
What the? It's rusted. Like, what
Like,
the
who
fuck?
would?
What the
Like-
hell?
Yeah.
But what people would get in it?
No, they would just dip their cup in. Which I mean,
Okay.
they're. I guess the point was to commit suicide, right? But that shit looks crazy.
Oh, this is where that happens.
Wow.
So then, in the background, they're making the tub of the
Yeah.
Kool-Aid to,
give to everybody. But that's the tub that they would use every time, no?
Yeah, I think so. It's the same
Mhm.
one. I mean,
The
for 1,000
usual tub.
people, you'd have to make a lot
Big
of
ass
fucking
tub.
Kool-Aid.
I mean, everybody just needs a
how
cup.
many? I mean, how many packets do you think that would take, dude? That's insane.
Kool-Aid?
An entire pallet of fucking Kool-Aid.
For 1,000 people?
After finishing
And the
mixture,
sugar?
yeah. Well, nah, well, I don't know. Back then, I guess you did have to add sugar, right? Because now you don't. Now they come pre. I mean, you still can. I'm sure most people still do. After finishing the mixture, all temple members to join him in the pavilion, the usual place for group meetings. When they arrived, Jones told them all to drink the flavored aid mixture and explained that by drinking this mixture, they would be committing what he called a revolutionary suicide. At the
Oh,
same
so
time,
he told them what was up.
yeah,
Yeah.
because he was explaining to them that something just happened. He was saying like that plane is gonna come crashing in the middle of the forest. They're gonna come after us. They're gonna blame us. They're not gonna tell us apart, like between you and me. And they're gonna blame all of us. They're gonna kill us. They're gonna torture our kids. You know what I mean? And like he was just telling them all this like crazy
That's crazy.
like they're coming for me. They're coming for you too. And you know what I mean? Like
You gaslit the
we
fuck out of
can't
him.
give them that satisfaction. We need to go ahead and take our lives. Like there's a whole 45-minute death video. That's what they call it, death clip.
Like, we got to rage quit before we lose the game.
Yeah, basically, you can't let them get the dub with the most kills. Basically, don't let them get the ace. Essentially,
Unplug
Yeah.
the controller.
like it's horrible. Like for real, unplug the
Close,
controller.
close out the game. Go back to the lobby.
Yeah, close back the game.
Are you sure you want to quit? Yes.
So basically, he was just kind of manipulating them. Like it's over. They're coming after us. There's no way out. We have to do this. Let me keep reading. At the same time, Jones started recording the audio as it was a talking place. In a 44-minute video, now nicknamed the Death Tape, 18 minutes into the tape, the shooters who ambushed the delegation returned to Jonestown and informed Jones that the congressman was murdered. It is unclear if any members initially thought that this was just another White Night rehearsal, but even if members wanted to run away, the pavilion was surrounded by armed guards.
Mm.
In the recording, Jones used many techniques to convince people to follow his instructions. First, he framed the act of committing suicide as the only possible option in the current circumstance. One cult member, Christine Miller, even suggested an alternative, but was immediately shot down by Jones. So she was saying like, hey, I thought we had ties with the Soviet, like I thought they would help us out. And he's like, nah, they're not gonna come. They're gonna like this and that, blah blah blah. And she's like, well, we have to fight. We have to do something. We're not just gonna sit here and die. He's like, nah. He was basically shutting her down. This is the only way, and like die with dignity and die with respect. And when he would say that, people would applaud. They were applauding him, like, yeah, like
Mhm.
this will teach him, like, you know what I
That's
mean?
crazy.
Like it's fucked up. Like they're like literally that brainwashed, and she's pleading for her life essentially. Like, dude, I don't want to die. Like this is not what I want. I don't want my family to die. And he's like, no, like trust me.
The
like,
children. That's my
this
thing.
is what,
like, the
yeah,
children.
this is what needs to happen. It's the only option. Like, and she was basically like drowned out. So not everybody went willingly, and you'll find out later. But like, if you didn't drink it, they basically either forced you to drink it, they injected it into you, or they just killed you. They shot you. You know, because you one way or another you were going with them. You know what I mean? Like so. Yeah.
I wonder if anybody tried to like pretend to drink it and then try to spit
It's
it
like,
back out.
ooh, that's nasty.
Like,
But-
go do the old.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
and
Oh,
then
that was
pretended.
gross. You guys thought that was gross too, right? I don't like grape, you know?
It was strawberry. Oh no.
Oh, no. Jones also frames the act of committing suicide as the final being at. Jones also frames the act of committing suicide as finally being at peace, escaping the hellish world he claimed where they lived. Yeah, because the lady was like, well, I mean, what about the kids? They deserve freedom. They deserve to live their lives. And he's like, no, you know what they deserve? They deserve peace. He's like, they deserve to die in peace and this and that. And like, I've tried to give you
Live
that, but I can't
innocent,
give
like,
you
die
that.
innocent or
Like,
something
yeah,
like that.
you know what I mean? Like, I've tried to
Motherfucker.
give you peace, but they just won't stop coming. Like, we have to do this.
Mm.
As the temple members finished taking the poison, the guards at the temple were called in to do the same. After the ordeal, Jones was found deceased with a gunshot wound to the head. So he didn't even take the poison, right? Now, he watched all these people die drinking the poison.
Like horrible death.
Yeah, like painful, and he's like, "Ugh, that's not it," and then took his life. And I was like, "You're such a bitch, dude."
I'll
You know
take the
what I
fast way
mean?
out.
Yeah, exactly. Consistent with being self-inflicted. So yeah, they say he did. Yeah. However, some people in Jonestown survived. Here are the survivors.
Oh.
Okay. One on the day of the mass suicide, two lawyers, Mark Lane and Charles Gary, who were supposed to be representing some of the members, had previously been told that some of the members had developed grudges against them. In response, Lane and Gary asked to be escorted to a guest house in Jonestown, typically used to house visitors. According to them, on the day of the suicide, they convinced two guards of the house to let them go. After escaping from the house, they fled to the jungle and tried to get to Port Kaituma, where at the time the shooting was still taking place. They hid in the jungle until it was over.
That's crazy.
Stupid sons of bitches. Because he's the one that got them, you know what I mean? Like, cleared them of the U.S. things.
What do you mean?
Remember, the U.S.
Oh,
came to
that's the
investigate,
lawyer?
and they hired the lawyer, and the lawyer was like, these people are
Mm.
fine. They love it here. Like, this and that, right?
Mm.
Several temple members managed to escape, too. Stanley Clayton, only 25 years old at the time, was in the pavilion when the mass suicide was taking place. He initially thought that it was just another white night rehearsal. But when he saw that the guards were also taking the kitchen staff in the pavilion, he grew suspicion because they never take the kitchen staff. They never invite him to the temple meetings. It's kind of fucked up.
Mm.
When he arrived at the pavilion, his suspicion was justified. And after seeing his mother and girlfriend commit suicide, he told the guard that he wanted to say goodbye to some of his friends before dying. The guard agreed. And when they weren't looking, Clayton made a run for it into the forest. Grover Davis, a 79-year-old temple member who was hard of hearing at the time, missed the announcement to go to the pavilion, so he stayed inside his home.
Oh.
And he realized after the mass suicide was taking place, he laid down in the ditch and pretended to be dead until everything was over. He was 79 years old, dude. That's crazy.
Damn.
That's crazy.
So he got lucky. I mean, he just didn't hear the announcement, right? Another temple member, Catherine Hyacinth Edwards, was 76. They had a lot of older people. That's crazy. Hid under the bed when she heard the announcement. She slept there until 7 a.m. the next morning. Waking up, she saw the land surrounding her shack littered with bodies, including her sister and other relatives. She was the when the government came to inspect, she's the only living person they found at the
Place
Jonestown.
in general. What
Yep.
about the old man? He died.
No, I think he was like in a different compound or some shit. But she was
okay.
the only person they found there alive
Wow.
when the Guyanese troops arrived.
How
Yeah.
long did it take for them to arrive?
I'm literally about to read that. Almost 22 hours after the shooting,
Mm.
a Guyanese government plane arrived to evacuate the injured members. Okay, no, I don't know. I don't know how long. I'm assuming the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, you know, apparently, I don't know if it says that. I think it's about to say it, but the pilots survived, and then they literally, like, fuck this, we're out, and they got in the planes and dipped. After the shooting, a Guyanese government plane arrived to evacuate the injured members of the delegation and were left on the airship. Most of them spent the night at Port Kaituma Cafe, while the more critically injured spent the night at a tent near the airstrip. Initially, there was only one medical doctor to examine the scene. Dr. C. Leslie Mutu, he visually examined over 200 bodies, later claiming that at least 70 of them had needle marks. So they were like injected with it. Plastic cups and syringes were found littered throughout the bodies, around the bodies.
Damn.
In the video, if you do watch it, there's a clip where the lady's like, you can hear the kids crying, and they're like screaming and this and that, and she's like, "No, don't worry, they're not crying in pain. They're just crying because it tastes bad." And I'm like, dude, that was fucking disheartening, dude. That was like, that really fucked me up when I heard that, because you can hear the kids in the back, and god damn, that was bad, dude. Letters were also discovered near the bodies of some victims, presumably written as suicide notes. A typewritten note from Marceline Jones, a Temple member, reads, "I, Marceline Jones, leave all bank assets in my name to the Communist Party of USSR. For anyone who finds this letter, please honor the request. It is the most important letter to myself, my husband, James W. Jones."
That's crazy.
What would you give the USSR?
Were they all Jones?
No, I don't know. James W. Jones. I mean, I don't know. I'm confused.
I was just asking.
Is that the Lady Jones? I
No,
don't
I
know.
meant like I don't know why I thought the whole town was like. Just
Oh,
took the
it's
last name
literally
of Jones.
Jonestown because everybody's last name is
Yeah,
Jones.
that's what I meant. Like,
Gotta
are they all Jones?
Gathered all
There's
the
like
Jones.
towns like that in Mexico, right? Everybody has the last names or something. Like
They're all related.
that. Yeah, some Targaryen shit going on.
Hmm.
Another Temple member, Annie Moore, left a handwritten note that attempts to explain that Jonestown wasn't that bad place and that Jones was a good person before ending it with the phrase, "We died because you would not let us live in peace."
Damn.
In total, all right, you guys ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
909 people died in
Whoa.
Jonestown. The survivor count is disputed. It could range between 6 to 87 because they weren't sure. Like I said, some people were from Guyana, so they're like not even sure if they just went home. You know what I mean? Or how many people were there or weren't there or whatever. So up to 87 people could have survived potentially, right? Not including including the ones that were in the planes. So the bodies of the Temple members were collected by the United States military in Guyana and transported back to America.
Wow.
Initially, the American government had tried to have the bodies buried in Guyana, but the Guyanese government declined, and the families of the loved ones also wanted to see their relatives
Yeah, of
come
course.
home. So the government ended up having to airlift all 900 bodies back to America.
That's crazy.
The bodies finally arrived at the Dover Air Force Base in Delaware, a base that had previously been used to process the victims of the Tenerife airport disaster, the deadliest airplane crash in history. Due to the sheer amount of bodies found in Jonestown, some corpses were put in the same case to be lifted to America. In one instance, 490 bodies were needed to fit in only 267 cases to speed up the process.
They didn't have.
No, they didn't have. I mean, 900, dude. Can you imagine the number of planes they had to fucking, the amount of money and work and I don't know, hours. The
smell of everything.
Yeah, the workers at the Air Force Base in Delaware were tasked with fingerprinting, identifying, and processing the bodies. By April the following year, 1979, more than 300 of the 900 bodies had been claimed by the family members and relatives of the victims. So apparently they had to pay like a $500 fee or something like that to collect the body or some shit like that. So not a lot of people, not only they identified people, but nobody ever came to claim them because they couldn't afford to pay that. And
that's crazy.
I don't know. But around 500 bodies still remain unidentified, 200 of them being decomposed past the point of identification.
Oof.
I mean, it's a whole year later, dude. Even if bodies were identified or not, cemeteries were reluctant to bury the remains in fear that it would attract Jonestown sympathizers. But eventually, there was a cemetery in Oakland that agreed to bury the remains for hundreds of victims in a mass grave. So in Oakland, there's one really big grave
for the 500
for the 500 remaining.
That's so sad.
Over time, with over 900 dead, 1/3 of them being children or people under 17. The Jonestown massacre will continue to be the most devastating mass murder suicide in American history. I mean, that's just insane. That's a lot of people over one crazy ass dude. You know what I mean? That has that much influence, that much power over people. I don't know. It's scary.
It is.
That shit's it's haunting.
That's crazy. Just the whole fact that all that happened.
It's
you
very
know?
sad, man. I mean, that
I'm
many
more
people
upset for the
involved.
younger ones.
No, that's fucking
Yeah,
heartbreaking.
because I mean,
dude.
for the most
Like the
part,
people
like the
don't-
adults chose to follow him, and they chose to listen and stuff like that. But the children, they had no choice.
Yeah, exactly.
They were
Exactly.
born
Yeah.
into it. You know?
There's I remember I watched a documentary on this a long time ago, and they were saying how like one of these guys had the option of leaving, and his kid was still there, but they couldn't fit, so he somehow something came up, but he wasn't able to take his child, so he made the decision to leave his kid and come back. Cause I'll come back for him, no problem, right? And it turns out the next day they did the murder, and he like to this day he had to live with the fact that
That's
he left his kid there, and it
crazy.
was like,
Damn.
fuck, dude, that's so depressing, dude.
Why would you leave your child?
I don't
Like,
know why would I could not imagine leaving my kid, dude. No, you know what I mean? He's going or I'm not going, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know. So yeah, guys, that's
Jonestown.
Jonestown, man. That's part of our. We might do this more often if Marlon is down, if he doesn't cry on the way home.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm gonna watch. I want to watch it.
Like I said, I'm gonna
yeah.
send you guys a link. This is gonna take me like
Very
a week to
interesting.
edit, but hopefully I'll get it up soon. And we make this a series. We'll talk. I want to do more. Not just American things though. Like I told Robert, I want to do like Latin America,
I
Mexican
feel like the
lore.
Latin Mexican, and I feel like that's more crazy too.
Yeah,
I
like
feel like
there's
they
some
probably got some
crazy
wow.
fucked up shit.
Like you know that tamale lady?
The tamale lady. What that?
What she cooking people?
She was cooking people and
That's
using
Oh,
crazy.
what?
yeah, she used people's meat in tamales and nobody would know
What?
because she said it was getting expensive to buy like
Yeah.
carnes and
Dude,
stuff.
inflation, bro.
That
So
lady
she
that saw
would-
like the trailer full of kids, like dead bodies.
Oh yeah, and then
supposedly she died or whatever.
she didn't snitch, but she saw
She saw it
and it was
freaked out.
reported, and she was freaking out, and they interviewed her, and I guess whoever was the cause of that saw her
her.
face, and they were like, you know what, let's get rid of her,
Yeah,
and
stuff
they-
like
Oh,
that.
and they
that's
killed her. I was like,
crazy.
what?
The school bus full of kids for like that president went missing. It was like 30 kids went missing. They found them in a ditch, something like that. It's fucked up shit, dude. Like
What, were they shot up or
the
something?
stuff in Mexico and like Latin America is like scary because that shit still happens to this day. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's fucked
The
up, dude.
cartel
And
It's
here it's
scary.
like, here in the U.S., it's like, can you still do it? Possibly.
I feel like
but
now it's
just
more
very strict.
regulated now.
I feel like- yeah, I feel like
to
a
get
lot of
away
it-
with it is nuts.
But yeah, I would like to do maybe El Cucuy, shit like that. You know what I mean? La Llorona. I want to do more conspiracy theories or fuck it. We can even talk about like cryptids and shit. I'm not trying to turn this into Joe Rogan, right? But
Yeah.
I do want to talk about these things. It's kind of cool, right? If you look at, like I said, if you look at my YouTube, it's all crazy shit,
Mm-hmm.
fucked up stories, missing people, cryptids and whatnot. It's just fun, man. I'm already watching this. I might as well.
And
Serial
just
killers.
to see where it goes, you know.
Yeah, just having fun here. I mean, obviously this episode was a whole lot of fun, hearing about 300 dead kids. But,
Jesus Christ.
900.
hopefully we can pick up some lighter topics.
Mhm.
Also I gotta make the habit look at the
Yeah,
camera.
we talk about
I'm looking
beans.
at
Yeah, I've
everywhere
been
but the
trying to do
camera.
that,
I've been looking at.
Yeah, I've been looking at that too. I'm like,
But the
damn,
camera's
the camera's
over
over
here.
here. Yeah.
I be making the faces to the camera sometimes.
All right,
Like,
guys.
it's actually nuts.
I appreciate y'all watching, man. Hit that like, sub, subscribe. I'm sorry I had to do the cringe thing. I don't do it enough.
You need to,
apparently. Yeah.
Like,
Don't forget
comment.
to subscribe, chat.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, subscribe.
Hit that follow.
Hit
right here,
Smash
okay,
that
down
button.
there.
And don't
Link
drink the
down
Kool-Aid.
below, okay.
Don't forget to don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Don't forget to not.
Comment name for the series would be great. All right, bye. Peace.
Peace.